Before you go any further, stop. Don't scroll. Just pause for a moment and listen. Because what you're feeling right now is not random. There is a reason you are here. A reason your mind slowed down, even for a second. A reason something inside you said, wait. And that reason matters. Lately, something has been different. You can feel it, even if you don't understand it. A quiet shift, a subtle discomfort, a feeling that something in your life is no longer the same. You try to ignore it. You try to stay busy. You try to distract yourself. But it keeps coming back. That thought, that feeling, that quiet voice inside you, telling you something isn't right, telling you something needs to change. But you've been avoiding it. Not because you don't know, but because you're not ready to face it yet. And that's okay. Because growth doesn't start with action. It starts with awareness. And right now, you are becoming aware. Aware of what no longer fits your life. Aware of what has been draining your energy. Aware of what you've been tolerating for too long. And once you see that, you cannot unsee it. That's why it feels uncomfortable. That's why it feels heavy. Because a part of you knows you cannot go back to who you were. You can only move forward. But moving forward feels uncertain. It feels like losing control. It feels like stepping into something unknown. It feels like letting go of something familiar, even if that thing is slowly hurting you. And that's where you are right now, between comfort and truth, between what is easy and what is right. And that space feels confusing, feels overwhelming, feels heavy. But listen carefully. That feeling is not there to break you. It is there to wake you up. Because you are not lost. You are being guided. Not loudly, not forcefully, but quietly. Through your thoughts, through your emotions, through that feeling you can't ignore anymore. Because deep down, you already know. You know what's not working. You know what doesn't feel right anymore. You know what you've been avoiding. You just didn't want to face it yet. Because facing it means change. And change is uncomfortable. It challenges you. It pushes you. It forces you to let go. But staying where you are is slowly taking your peace. You feel it. That silent frustration. That emotional exhaustion. That feeling of being stuck, even when you're trying to move forward. That is not failure. That is misalignment. And your soul is trying to bring you back. Back to what feels right. Back to what feels true. Back to who you are meant to be. But here is the truth. You cannot move forward while holding on to what is pulling you back. At some point, you have to choose. Not perfectly, not all at once, but honestly. You have to admit what is no longer working. You have to accept what you've been avoiding. You have to face what you already know deep down. And that moment of honesty, changes everything. Because once you stop lying to yourself, you start seeing clearly. And clarity is powerful. It doesn't always feel good, but it shows you the truth. And the truth sets you free, even if it feels uncomfortable at first. Because growth does not feel easy in the beginning. It feels like confusion. It feels like pressure. It feels like everything inside you is shifting. But that doesn't mean you are falling apart. It means you are being rebuilt. Stronger, clearer, more aware than before. And this moment right here, this exact moment, is part of that process. You didn't just find this message. You were guided here to hear this, to understand this, to finally stop ignoring what you've been feeling all along. So take a deep breath, slow down your thoughts, and ask yourself honestly, what am I still holding on to? Because the answer to that question is your next step. Not a big step, not a perfect step, just a real step. Because real change starts with small decisions, small moments of honesty, small choices to move forward, even when it feels uncomfortable. And once you take that step, everything begins to shift. Slowly, quietly, but powerfully. And one day, you will look back at this moment and realize this was the moment you stopped ignoring yourself. This was the moment you chose truth over comfort. This was the moment your life started to change. So don't rush. Don't force everything. Just listen. Trust what you feel. And take the next step when you're ready. Because you are closer than you think. Closer to clarity. Closer to peace. Closer to becoming who you were always meant to be.